Today we are at day 99 of our 100 days DevOps challenge, and we are very close to end of this amazing journey. And for today's task we have to create a DynamoDB table with this name. Then we have to create a IAM rule, then IAM policy with read-only access for the DynamoDB table. Also we have to attach this policy to the rule, and for this task we have to follow the standard way, like we have to create main.tf file for the resource section, and for the variables we have to create variables.tf. Then to display the resource name we will use outputs.tf. And also another interesting things here is terraform.tf. So what actually it does, so basically when we create variables.tf file, we give this variable name, also we set the default value. But for this task we will not put any default value. Instead we will set those value in this terraform.tf. Then when we run terraform apply or plan, Terraform will use value for these variables from this tf.bars file. Okay, let's create, and when we will perform the action we will understand better. So let's begin. So first we will create our terraform.tf file. So let's create terraform.tf. Okay. Good, seems good. Now let's give the variable name. It should be kki table. Let's copy. Then copy role name, copy policy name. Okay. Now let's copy the value and paste here. Nautilus table. Okay. Nautilus rule. Then policy name, Nautilus read-only policy. Okay, so we have defined our terraform.tf file. Now we will create variables.tf file to use this variable. Okay, so let's create variables.tf. So set the variable name kki table name, and here we will not put anything, as I already said. So it will keep empty, and the value will come from this terraform.tf file. Okay, so let's do the same for other two variable. kki role name variable kki policy name. That's okay now. So we have created variables.tf file and also the terraform.tf file. Now we will go for the main.tf file. So let's create main.tf. So we have to create a DynamoDB table. So let's go to the Terraform registry, browse providers, select AWS, select documentation, and here find AWS DynamoDB table is this one. Let's copy this minimal section, update it. So we'll give name as the variable var kki table name, and for this resource name let's set it kk DynamoDB. Okay, for the hash key let's will use id, and billing method is okay, per pay per request, that's fine. So let's remove this stream section, we don't need this. And also let's remove replica. In the attribute we have to change attribute name to id, as we are using id. Now let's set a tags bar.kk table name. Okay, so this is fine now. So we have created our DynamoDB table resource. Now we need to create IAM role resource. So go there, search for AWS IAM role. Okay, so let's copy this. And update here. Let's remove unnecessary lines. Change the resource name to KK role. Okay, that's good. So we have to set the variable name here. So bar.kk role name, and let's assume role policy as it is, as the default. We don't need to change anything here. So in the tags let's set name bar.kk role name. Okay, so we have defined a role as well. Now we need IAM policy. Okay, let's copy this one, paste here. So well, we said let's update policy name to KK policy, and keep the name bar.kk policy name. Okay, remove unnecessary lines. Here we have to do very important things, because as the problem described, we have to grant read-only access to DynamoDB table. So we have to update this policy action. So how can we get this action? Normally I choose AWS console to generate policy because it's better to understand as it's visualized. So let's log in into our console. IAM policies, create policy. Let's JSON section, we'll choose DynamoDB, yes, this one. And here let's visualize. So in visual, so let's go there. So DynamoDB, and as we see there is a few access level, for example list, read, write, permission, tagging. So as the problem describes, we need only read-only access, so we'll choose all read-only access, so all read action, right? So that's all. Here we'll choose all resources. Now let's go to the JSON section. Okay, so we'll just copy this action, right? And I will replace this. So let's copy this action and update it here. It looks okay, seems looks good now. Okay, so we have defined all the read-only access, and here is another important thing is the resource, because as the problem describes, it should uh, allow only this specific DynamoDB table. Which one? We have created the DynamoDB here, this one. So we have to change the resource section. So let's update resource, and here we will set DynamoDB table dot kk DynamoDB dot arn. So this will set only specific DynamoDB, and also we have to give permission to inside this table for all the resources inside the table, right? So we need another resource section, and it will be this one, aws DynamoDB dot kk DynamoDB dot arn. Then we need to use the wildcard option. So this wildcard, then the outlook. So what it does, basically this means that inside this table anything, any resource it can read. Okay, fine. So we have defined our policy roles. Now let's set the tags here. bar.kk policy name. Okay, so we have set the policy, I've set the role, I've set the DynamoDB. Now we need to attach this policy to the role. So for this we will find IAM role policy attachment. Yeah, this one. And we don't need everything, just copy this last section and paste here. We need to update few things, like let's say this is not role, it should be kk role. Okay, and this is not the policy, we need the kk policy. Yeah, looks good now. So if we review this file, we have created DynamoDB table with the name, as also the IAM role, then IAM policy, and in the action section we have updated with all read-only access, and in the resource section we allow only this specific DynamoDB table, and with this wildcard we say that you can access any resource inside this DynamoDB table. Okay, that's fine. So, and at the end we have attached this policy to this role. Okay, so our main.tf is done. Now we need to create output.tf file. So let's create output.tf file. Sorry, so in output.tf file we have to define this output name. So let's set output, then copy this output value name kk DynamoDB table, and the value should be the name aws DynamoDB dot kk DynamoDB dot name. Okay, same for other kk IAM role, and the value should be dot kk role, sorry no, this should be AWS IAM role. Why? Yeah, so kk role and then the name. Same for policy. Just copy this, paste here. Value should be AWS IAM policy dot kk policy dot name. Yeah, looks good. So we have created the outputs as well. Everything is good. Now let's open the terminal. Terraform init to initialize the plugins and providers. Okay, now let's see by running the Terraform plan. What it say? Let's see. Yeah, it seems good. There's 3 outputs and 4 resources to add. It will add DynamoDB table with this name, billing method. Yeah, and also the IAM policy. Then it will create IAM rule. Okay, then it will attach this rule to the this policy to this rule. Okay, that's all. Now let's apply. With auto approve. It's creating these resources. Yes, it's first creating the role DynamoDB, then it's created the policy, and then it adds this policy. Okay, so I think we're done. Yes, so let's check. It should pass. Yes, so that's it.